everybody, it's Jeff and Nikki from Nightshade Nook Decor. We are finishing up our custom order stove topper. This is a black walnut board with gray and black swirl epoxy in it. Yeah. And sometimes I'm just at a loss for words. This is that moment. You never know when that's going to happen. You missed a spot.
You love to say that.
I love saying that. So this is a really, really big board. This is 28 and a quarter by, was it 20 and a quarter?
Yeah.
So you took my numbers away from me, so now I don't know. So again, this was a custom order. This is a stove topper. What it's for is just what it sounds like. It sets on top of a glass top stove, or if you could even use it on an electric or a gas range, because basically it just sets on top of the stove top to hide the burners or, apparently any mess. If you have company coming over and you haven't cleaned your stove top, you can set this thing right on top of it. So this will have feet attached to it because it's going on a glass top stove. It'll also have handles that are coming on Saturday that we will attach to it because the customer who ordered this actually wants to use this as a serving tray as well. So it's going to be a huge serving tray if she's going to do that. And this is one of our heavier boards too because it's so big.
It's heavy.
It's very heavy. It's pretty. Waiting for you to get the epoxy. You know that's what they're all waiting for. They've seen the black walnut come to life. We want to see what the epoxy looks like. That's beautiful. So this one was ordered while we were doing one of our other customers' cutting boards, and they saw this color and had to have it for their stove topper. They have one of the, was it like a charcoal stainless steel stoves? Is that what they're called?
I think it's called black stainless steel.
Or is it called graphite?
It might be. One or the other.
So this should match that really, really well. It's a very, very pretty board. I have to keep backing up so you guys can see just how big it is. That's going to be beautiful. I can't wait till the handles come and we put the handles on. We ordered, because this is for some of our friends from Texas, so we ordered some rustic kind of barn-like handles to put on it to kind of go with the decor. And we had never heard of a stove topper before. I'm thinking this is either something that people generally buy when they have the glass top stoves, or maybe it's a Texas thing. I'm not really sure, but it's a brilliant idea. I know we've all gotten those tin burner covers that we've put on their stoves, which are generally pretty hideous. They have like the cheap looking rooster on it,
They usually come with a rooster.
or poorly painted flowers that aren't in season, and you have to keep changing them out. This is a much nicer idea because you can pick your own colors. You can, have multi-purposes. You can use it as a serving tray. I really think this is something that we're going to start. Well, we'd like to have in stock, but with stove toppers, depends. Everyone's stove top is different size, so you can't just make
basically
standard ones.
Yeah, stove topper is pretty much going to have to be a custom order because everyone's stove is different. The stoves come in many sizes. There's apartment size stoves, and not all stoves are alike. So
otherwise, we would love to just jump on the bandwagon here and just pump out some stove toppers.
If I could mass produce these, I probably would make a few. But you just everyone's stove is a little different, so.
But it's a beautiful, beautiful board and a great idea. I can't wait till we can put the handles on it and take a picture. That's going to be added to our gallery and on our website. Just because it's, unique to us and just very, very pretty. It's definitely a statement piece when you see something like this sitting on someone's stove when you walk in their kitchen. There's a conversation starter over coffee. And this wood actually came from Barrett Hardwood Lumber.
Nice.
Butler. I don't know why. Oh, because Barrett Wood. That's where I got that from. Sorry. Butler Hardwood Lumber out in Cayuta. This actually was bought during our shopping extravaganza out there a couple weeks ago when we had that lovely picture of the cat climbing on top of Jeff and licking his ear.
Yeah.
Apparently a moment I'm just not going to let you forget.
No.
I still chuckle and am entertained by that every time I think of it. As the Butler cat was climbing up on you. God, this is beautiful. I really like the way that edge down there turned in.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's got a little bit of burl in it too. So
It does. And I'm not getting a good enough shot of that. That's really, really pretty. And then that's where the handles are going to go, right on each end. So there'll be one handle partially in the wood and epoxy, and then the other one's going to be almost all epoxy. I think the handles themselves are 9 inches. They're really big handles because this is a big board. Like I said, it's 28 and a quarter by 20 and a quarter. So 9-inch handles weren't too big for this.
yeah,
They're
3-inch
perfect.
handles was not an option.
Yeah, 3-inch handles would have looked ridiculous.
This board really is heavy. I bet you it weighs every bit of 25 pounds.
Wow, it's that heavy.
It's really heavy, yeah.
Well,
Well, it's over an inch thick.
it is too.
probably
It's a really thick
It's
board.
like 1.1 inches, so it's very thick board.
I think Steve's going to be the one lifting this and using it as a serving tray, not
Right.
Melissa.
Right? Whoever's got to lift this tray is going to have forearms like Popeye.
And again, with the stove toppers, we also just want to remind you, never place these on a hot stove. Always wait until the burners have cooled down. If you do have an old style stove and you order a stove topper and you have a pilot light, it's not advised that you put a stove topper on your stove. But those kind of stoves are few and far between nowadays. Those are really old school.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have a stove from the 50s, pretty much all the pilot
Didn't the
lights are
80s
gone.
have the pilot lights though too?
Yeah, I don't remember, but we've had the
I feel like
we've
when
had stoves with electric ignitions for quite a while now. So
I feel like I remember having to stick a match in, and maybe it was Grandma's stove, so maybe that was the problem.
yeah,
That could have totally been the problem.
I mean maybe even through the 70s, you probably had the pilot light stoves, but
Well, in the
you just don't
70s,
see
I
them
definitely wasn't
anymore.
playing with matches. It had to be the 80s. I don't know.
I know my parents had an old stove that came from my grandparents' house. That was obviously
One of the ones you had to let
yeah,
pilot light.
Yeah,
That was sketchy. I'm glad they did away with that. I never liked that.
but that stove was probably from the 50s or 60s. So
So you should be pretty safe nowadays to ensure your stove does not have a pilot light on it. And like I said, you just want to make sure that the burners are cool before you place this on there because it is wood and epoxy and that's a fire hazard just waiting to happen.
yeah.
Man, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, and as pretty as the top of this is, I think the bottom is even prettier because it's much darker.
Oh, yeah. That's gorgeous.
And there's that nice burl in that.
There,
corner.
yeah. That's what I was going right for. That is beautiful.
Yeah, came out really nice.
I think they're going to be very happy with this board when it's done. They were just out here last weekend, actually, and saw it still sitting in the frame. We're like, yep, it's still curing. You've got time. So they got to see it at one of its not pretty stages.
Yeah, sitting out here covered in dust. But no, it is finished. Well,
Almost finished.
yeah. So,
Now it's oiled and ready for the other embellishments we put
yeah,
on it.
When the handles come, we will put them on, and then it'll be finished.
Those handles are stunning too. I'm so glad I found them. And that was kind of cool too because we were looking to order handles for them and they were here when I was looking. And I showed them the ones that I was thinking about and they instantly were like, yes. And those are handmade wrought iron handles that we had ordered for them. Very rustic, very pretty. See, now this wouldn't be a bad idea for our stovetop. You know, especially if you don't have a lot of counter space. This
Yeah.
would be great because you can use this as a cutting board as well. I mean, it's the same materials as the cutting boards, so I think why not?
Yeah, you could.
And then you will have to, you know, care and treatment is standard. If you are going to do something like that, you're going to want to oil your board. Even just keeping it as a stove topper, are they going to
I
want
would
to
say,
oil
yeah,
it probably
yeah.
once a month, maybe every other month?
Yeah, I would say definitely want to keep it oiled. You don't want it to dry out and crack, so or warp. So yes, I would say if you're going to be rinsing it off, if you're going to be washing it, you'll be washing the oils away. So yeah, you would definitely want to occasionally oil it. If you're going to introduce flour to it, then definitely want to oil it.
Yeah, see, I think this would be great for those small little galley kitchens. You've just added, you know, 28 inches, 2 feet, a little over 2 feet of counter space. Right.
As long as you're not.
As long as you're not utilizing the stove or oven, right. Which, if when you're prepping, you haven't gotten that far yet.
Right. Right. And I would say also you don't want to use this as a trivet.
Definitely
You wouldn't want
not.
to place anything hot on here. You could melt the epoxy.
That's a good piece of advice. I thought that would have gone alongside with, you know, don't put it on hot burners, but you've got a good point. Don't stick your hot pots and pans on top of it. It is not a trivet. It's not a coaster either, for that matter. Speaking of coasters, we are not far off. Jeff has separated the two pieces, and now he has to slice them and make coasters. So we should have coasters, I'd say sometime this weekend to show you guys. There should at least be one that we can show them this weekend that's done and to your satisfaction.
Yeah, that's the key thing, to my satisfaction.
I'm fully aware. There is sarcasm in that. All right, so Melissa and Steve, I hope you're watching. If not, you know, I did message you and let you know your board is just about done and be done this weekend. And feel free to share this with your friends. Guys, don't forget to like and share and comment on our posts. That's what helps us grow, and we do appreciate you guys. And you guys have a great day. Talk to you later.